trigger warning. If you are a Last of Us super fanboy, don't even bother with this video, okay? They've already sold you the game. That's great. You go enjoy it, have fun. But for everybody else, stick around and let's talk about what has been released and what has leaked with The Last of Us Remake. And of course, please do like the video and subscribe for more content. So, what has happened lately when it comes to The Last of Us Remake? Well, we of course had that price tag. A lot of people, including myself, got sticker shock. I feel like most of the internet did. And now there's been a leak. And there's also been an official release of new information. A big 10-minute video talking about all of the different things that are going into The Last of Us Remake, with one major thing missing that we'll get to after we talk about what they actually did discuss. Now, that one major thing would have been the selling point for me, but let's talk about what's actually in it. They showed off the new graphics and different comparison shots, and the graphics do look amazing. I like how much foliage they added to the game. I like how many extra details they added. They talked about the physics and how they're able to have more objects moving at once, so explosions and gunshots and things like that are going to have a lot more impact. They went super in depth into the haptics on your controller for some reason. Like, I like the rumble on this controller, I really do, but I don't need like 3 or 4 minutes talking about the different rumble features that I feel like have already existed before. Just telling me like when you pet a giraffe that you're gonna feel it lightly rumble in the haptics.
When Joel goes in to pet the giraffe, getting that little light touch on the haptics as he's petting the giraffe.
Not that big of a deal, not that big of a selling point. Cool, that's neat. I'm not upset about it, but talking about how advanced your vibration is in your game, I mean, that selling point died back when the Switch did the whole rattling the ice cubes in the controller, which, by the way, the Switch has the worst rumble out of any console. I'm just stirring up more people that are fanboys and angry. They also talked about the haptic triggers that they enabled for the game, which honestly, every PlayStation 5 game should just have it, especially if it's an exclusive, because I mean, that is part of the controller. It should be a big selling point about these games, and I love when games use it. I'm not gonna lie. It feels really cool when you're pulling the trigger and you feel it go, and then the trigger break of a gun, the drawback of the bow. All of these things really do add depth to the game and add a lot more immersion into the gameplay. Another thing they talked about, which is very important for a lot of people, are the accessibility options. While I was streaming, I had somebody who was blind tell me that he played through The Last of Us 2 because of how great the accessibility options are. That's amazing. That's wonderful. I'm really glad that that's in this new edition. But I would also kind of argue it should be a free update to the older one. Like, if you're going to advertise accessibility options for more people to be able to play your games, I feel like you shouldn't have such a hefty price tag attached to it. You're not the good guy for just having them in the brand new product. Why not update your old one if you have the ability to do so? I understand that it's a very old game, PlayStation 4 remastered version, but still, like, I mean, just put them in there, because a lot of it is just voice.
Every single accessibility option that we offer, that's a barrier removed for someone.
As she surveys the apartment, her eyes wander to Joel. She steps past the couch. He wears the wristwatch Sarah gifted him, which now has a cracked face.
To my knowledge, this is the first PlayStation game that has audio description built into the game, built into the cinematics.
A lot of it is things that they could easily add into that older game, but they're not going to because they want to make money. They're going to have faster load times. I already talked about the better animation, but they talked really in depth about the face capture when they were doing the motion capture and how they're really getting the expressions on their face. And like, again, that's great in the graphics department, but to me, graphics aren't everything. 60 FPS, that's great. That's to be expected in a remake. Better AI, though, honestly, the AI in the original game was already really good, so I'm going to say slightly better AI. I'm sure the coding involved is a lot more intense, and it really is a lot smarter, but from what I've seen from the AI that they showed in their thing and the leak, it looks about the same as the original. Now, did you notice something missing there? Because it was the number one thing that they supposedly had to charge $70 for. No, this is a whole graphical remake. That that doesn't sell it to me to be a $70 game. The remastered looks fine. It still looks great. The gameplay improvements. Where are the gameplay improvements? The fact that significant gameplay changes are missing from both their main presentation that they just did, where they're detailing all of the selling points of this game, and the leaks, is very concerning. Now, I'm sure people are going to argue they're leaks, it's an early thing. No. Gameplay is an integral part of the game. You don't just wait till the last minute to add gameplay changes to it. You would have that from the ground up, just like everything else is in this game. Supposedly, they made this game from the ground up. And after seeing this presentation, after seeing the gameplay, I'm not convinced. It feels like they're lying to us. I don't want to say that they are, because I have no proof that they are, but that's how it feels. It just feels like another remaster. It just feels like another coat of paint. It just feels like another next generation update. Now, the reason that the internet is so up in arms against this, including myself, is because of that price tag. Again, I'm not stopping people from buying this. I'm not judging you for buying it. But I will always defend customers against terrible business practices. And charging $70 for a game that you can get right now for free on your PlayStation 5, or for like 10 to 20 bucks brand new almost every day on Amazon, Best Buy, or some other store, that's ridiculous. $70 is too much for a brand new game, let alone one that is the exact same thing with a shiny coat of paint. I like the fact that it's going to be 60 frames per second, but that could have just been an update to the remastered version. I like the new graphics, but that could have been a $10 upgrade. All of these different things have been done before in other games, like Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, and you can't tell me that those games don't look phenomenal. If major gameplay changes haven't been implemented, because again, it was absent during that presentation and was absent during the leaked gameplay, then it's a huge missed opportunity. I could have seen slightly the argument for paying more money for a completely new experience. Hell, they keep talking about in this presentation, this is the game we wanted to make. This is our original vision. And if they changed the story a little bit, they did something interesting, they put a twist on it, they added some significant changes to the gameplay, they got rid of some of the old mechanics that don't really make sense, like the shiv mechanic. Like, it's cool you can add it to weapons, but it's dumb that you just can't stab things with it forever. And they changed that in the second one. They're like, that's stupid, let's just give them a knife. Wonderful. Bring that to the first game. Knives exist in the first universe. I'm sure they do. Knives have been around forever. It doesn't make sense why they went the lazy route and basically just made it shiny. And it sucks. It sucks as a person who's a fan of the first game that they wasted this opportunity and essentially made a $20 remake. That's how I feel about it. If they'd done more, it could maybe justify a higher price tag, but even then, $70 was always pushing it. It was always pushing it. And I will never, ever jump on the bandwagon of going, nah, that's okay. I'll just start spending $70 like a lot of these other people have. I'm not going to do it. I understand that people are going to continue to use the same tired trope of, oh, but inflation, and look at how the price of games has stayed the same forever. That's not true. That's not true at all. The price of games hasn't stayed the same forever. They've been chopped up and sold back to us through battle passes, microtransactions, loot boxes, and everything else that they can think of to monetize their games, even more than they've ever been before. So don't tell me that $70 is now suddenly including all of the game when Call of Duty is going to be $70. It's still going to have seasons of battle passes. It's still going to have microtransactions. It still has all of the same things that it did when it was $60. The games have gotten more expensive, and now they're just getting even more expensive. And I refuse to enable them to think that this is going to be the new standard. I'm glad that Microsoft and Nintendo haven't jumped on the same bandwagon, but I guarantee with the new whatever Switch it's going to be, and maybe in the future Xbox will do that, but it seems like Xbox is leaning pretty hard into Game Pass, and if they were going to make games $70, they would have done it already. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about this new information, the leak, and all of that. If you guys are going to be picking up this game, and if you're not, let me know why in the comments. Of course, like the video if you guys liked it, subscribe for more content, and as always, have a fantastic day. See you, everybody.